Grab some coffee, a Mountain Dew, maybe both. A storm is brewing. The Brainstorm. Welcome to The Brainstorm with Matt and Mike.
Welcome to The Brainstorm with Matt and Mike. We're here with a good friend of ours, Mike. We've known our guest today for quite a while. In fact, clients of ours were clients of theirs, members of the chamber, Lexington Chamber of Commerce. It's really good. Mike actually sits on the board for the Lexington Chamber. When did you start sitting on the board for the Lexington Chamber?
2018, I believe.
So last year. So, or two years ago, right? So this is your second full year.
I think July will be 2 years.
Okay, yeah. And so we're heavily involved with a number of chambers. In fact, there's always a chamber to join somewhere. I mean, there's chambers within, I think there's 4 to 6 chambers within 20 miles of us.
In the county alone.
Yeah. So there's a lot of chamber of commerces. But Mike, I'll let you introduce our guest since you sit on the board and you know him well.
Yeah, so we got Adam DeLoach here with us from the chamber. He helps make sure that membership is where it needs to be. He helps maintain a pulse on those things. And Adam, you want to share a little bit more about your specific role and how long you've been at the chamber? And
yeah, sure. So I appreciate you guys having me this morning. I'm Adam, and I am the Director of Investments for the Lexington Chamber and Visitor Center.
Adam,
yeah, that's right. You know,
nice.
I handle the money. So it's, I've been there.
Knew we were friends for a reason.
That's right. I've been there over 3 years now. Before that, I was actually a member myself through a previous employer, Golden Hills Golf and Country Club. So I've been involved with the Chamber about 8 years total. But,
okay.
On staff for 3, so I love it.
And weren't you involved, Adam, in another organization that I don't know, because obviously I don't qualify being my age, but like young professionals or something of that nature?
I was. So when I started out with the chamber, I got involved in their YP group and was on the board for Empowered for a couple of years with a few other people. And I was their Young Professional of the Year back in 2016, I believe.
Nice,
so,
congratulations. I didn't even know that.
I'm getting old, so,
yeah. Well, sooner or later, you'll be like me. Yeah. You don't even qualify for things anymore, right?
Right.
You know where you're at, right, Matt?
Yeah. One of our strategists, he always talks about age is measured on how far you have to hold the paper out in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I resemble that remark because I have to hold the paper way out.
No doubt.
Right.
Well, Adam, tell us, there's a lot of chambers. We just mentioned that. And, from a business perspective, I think one of the hardest things that I know about people talking about with chamber memberships is like, why is it important for me to even join a chamber?
Right. Well, there's lots of different reasons. People join us and their companies for a variety of reasons and benefits. It's different for every company, whether you're a startup or entrepreneur or whether you're Lexington Medical Center. So, we provide a list of benefits to help the business grow, to save money, to expand, gain exposure, anything that we can think of that might help your bottom line as a business owner. That's kind of what we're there for.
That's good. So, you just explained, some different types of organizations. Now, of course, we have listeners and viewers from all over the country. Now, when we're live on the radio on Monday mornings, then those are more local. So they know people like Lexington Medical Center, but on our podcasts and our video resources that we produce from thebrainstormradio.com and our website and things of that nature, they don't understand like the types of organizations that you're talking about. Talk to me about the types of organizations that should join the chamber and the different types of benefits, because you got nonprofits, you got for-profits, you got hospitals, you got small business, and each one of those types of organizations might have a different benefit.
Right.
Talk to me about that.
So our chamber specifically, we're the largest business organization in our county.
Okay.
So even though there's lots of chambers, surrounding us, we're the largest by member count. So we represent all sized businesses, all different types of businesses. We're overwhelmingly small business focused. That's what makes up our numbers the most. So that can be anything from a trade like a plumber, a roofer, electrician, up to the major hospital systems, utility companies, car dealerships, anything you can think of. Okay. So when you get to be as large as our chamber is, you have such a diverse membership and companies that you represent. So we try and build our benefits to meet the needs of all. Some benefits that we provide, everyone can tap into, whether that's attending networking events, gaining that exposure, online benefits, anything like that. And some people and some of those companies kind of zone in on specific benefits like policy driven, discounts with major advertising companies in our region that, provide discounts on billboards or radio ads, anything like that. So people come to us for different reasons. So we try and just sit with them and evaluate where they are as a company, when they come into us, and so that we can just kind of make the best game plan for them, throughout their year of membership with us.
Nice. And so, Adam, I know that at the Lexington Chamber, again, there's this, wide range of types of members. And so that small business, maybe that roofer or that, flooring company, that pest control company, they're looking for membership to provide maybe networking opportunities because they're looking for kind of direct response business right now.
Right.
Where, someone like a hospital system or manufacturing company may be looking for a different benefit. Can you talk a little bit about the size of the organizations and what you commonly find is most important to each of them?
Sure. So, for a brand new business or a small business like a pest control or a roofer, primarily they're wanting to get their name out there. They're wanting to find new clients, retain their old ones, let the community know that they're there and that their door's open for business.
Credibility too, right?
Exactly.
And they really want direct ROI. They're wanting to land.
They're looking for us to directly refer them someone to put money in their pocket, because that's why we all go to work every day and to to go to business. So we a lot of our smaller entities will attend networking events to just go out and meet people and just to hand out their business cards and let people know that they're there, and to think of them whenever they need that roofer or, anytime they need a plumber or something like that. So we provide tons of events like that for those small to mid-range businesses that are looking for those kind of benefits.
So more of the grassroots,
right?
Type of going out and shaking hands, kissing babies, and building relationships and looking for that word of mouth referral.
Right. So when you talk about the larger businesses in our region, like a hospital system, a manufacturer like Michelin or something, they have a different idea as to what they're wanting to get out of their, membership. So you're talking about a lot of policy driven things, stuff that makes a huge impact on a small business owner, but then also kind of more so on a large business owner when you've got thousands of employees. Maybe there's a new tax break or, that's kind of on the floor of the South Carolina Senate that might really impact their bottom line, or health insurance costs, a bill that's, going to the floor next session. So those larger companies, they definitely want our voice, and to have a piece of that because we are one of the largest in our region. And so we can kind of go to bat for them as a collective, as opposed to one company trying to combat something. We can have a voice of, our entire membership behind us.
Right. I love that. That's awesome. It's cool that you're able to break down different sizes of organizations and figure out different benefits for all of those types of organizations, from people who just need branding, so people who need to just meet people,
right,
and people who need direct ROI on their investment.
Right.
I also love the fact that when we introduced Adam, he said he was the director of investment, because when you invest in the chamber, it truly is an investment. It's like what you put into it is also what you get out of it. We're here with Adam DeLoach, the director of investment. I was going to say director of membership, director of investment.
Right.
Thanks for listening to The Brainstorm with Matt and Mike. Welcome back to The Brainstorm with Matt and Mike. We love having guests on our show, and today we have a special guest, Adam DeLoach. He's the director of investment, as he was explaining it to us in the first segment. I absolutely love that. Matter of fact, I will probably use that.
Steal it if you want to.
I will
Go ahead.
absolutely procure that. I won't steal it. I'll just procure it. Right. And then I'll use it when I start talking about the chamber. I'll be like, hey, let me get my friend director of investment.
Sounds really important.
To talk to you. It does, man.
It is.
Really
more so than I actually am. But
well, hey,
I got to live into it, man.
That's probably the case with all of us at times, right? So, no, we're here. Mike and I are here with Adam and we were really digging into types of businesses that are joins the chamber and how the chamber, those types of businesses really benefit from the chamber. I think Mike was actually getting ready to take us in a little bit different direction, though.
Yeah. So Adam, talk to us a little bit about your specific role there and what that role really means.
Right. So I am over the membership as a whole. So whether you're a brand new member or you've been with us 30 plus years, like we have several companies that are, I'm kind of the day-to-day point person for if you have a question about your benefits, programs that we offer, and kind of any and all things. So my day-to-day consists of meetings with our members, finding out what their needs are, what we can help them with specifically at that time. And then I kind of also handle our, what we call our elite shareholders and members,
right.
Those larger entities around town, the manufacturers and hospitals and stuff, and make sure that their investments are on track and that we're doing everything that we can with them. And so, because even though we're, forever small business focused, and that's the majority, those larger players do play a big role in our growth, not just as a chamber, but as a community, in a lot of different ways. So,
yeah. And so I know events are important, oftentimes to the smaller business, and economic development, things like that are really important to some of those larger entities. They're important for the small business folks as well. It's just usually not front and center for them.
Yeah, it is. Economic development is always on the table when we're meeting with CEOs from around the region. Those are the players that represent thousands of employees. So thousands of jobs. They represent a large economic impact, dollar-wise, in our region. And so those are the people that are always interested in taking the community to the next level and, finding out what the next step needs to be. And we're fortunate that we sit at that same table where they ask us to be involved, they ask us our opinions, and they ask us to help them achieve that next step. So, it's definitely different for every company, but those larger players a lot of times do have a seat at the table when planning the future for our region.
Now, one thing, Mike, that I know that you actually talked about in a different show when we talked a little bit about chamber in a different show, that you failed to mention right there, is I wouldn't mind just kind of throwing in there, is because you talked about events, you talked about economic development, but there's a lot of organizations out there that struggle with leverage of groups from a legal perspective, like policy. And we have a lot of friends up at the State House that as well. But I know that you guys actually host and hold at your chamber facility a lot of policy-driven events, right? Where you have some senators come in. You had during the governor race, you had the different governor or potential prospective candidates coming in that was running for the office of governor in the state of South Carolina come in. So policy is also a big thing as well.
It is. So like I said, we're fortunate that a lot of power players in our region come to us and want to do events with us. And I think that's a big testament to what we do on a daily basis for the community and the business community specifically. So we do host, different politicians and regional key figures. We host them. We let our shareholders voice their opinions, or what's keeping them up at night as a small business owner to them, so that they can then take it back to the State House, to DC, whatever it might be. So that is definitely a big part of what we do, on lots of different levels, and we're fortunate to be able to do it. So.
And where else would you get that?
I
mean, what other type of like community or membership would you get something like that?
Right.
I mean, that's awesome.
So it's, you can always, still write a letter to your congressman to voice your opinion, but at the same time, you can go to your chamber and let your chamber intervene and gather a large crowd of people. And that's more appealing sometimes to politicians and key figures, because they can kind of maximize their time, for one.
Voice
and
of many.
two, they can, hear from a larger group of constituents, to hear what's going on in the community and stuff.
So talk about the growth that you've seen since you joined the staff at the chamber. And I know that it's been pretty significant over the past 3 years.
Right.
And talk about kind of what you believe has driven that. I would say that I believe our chamber's thriving. Would you agree with that?
I would, yeah.
I think there's still room for improvement.
Always,
right? But talk about what you think is driving that, and maybe some of the challenges that have come along with that growth.
Yeah, so we have seen great growth. We're very lucky that, one, our chamber's doing very well. Two, that our chamber's located in a county that is experiencing tremendous growth the last decade and is forecasted to see even more growth the next 20 years. So that definitely helps grow a chamber when you've got new shops opening on the street corner, weekly. I know a large part of my job is going to just merely find, and talk to every new business owner in town, because there's a lot of people popping up. So, that's a big part of what we do. Our chamber for years, long before, even I came on staff, has had a great track record and growth. And I think it's just a testament to our team and our board and their leadership that we prioritize everything. We always, try and just sit back, figure out what's actually most important, because chambers do a lot. We have so many different types of programs and benefits and stuff just to touch on so many businesses, because like we mentioned before, we do represent so many different types of businesses. So you want to help everybody, but at the same time, that can sometimes stretch you out. And chambers across the country notoriously have small staffs.
Yeah.
We have a staff of 7 whenever we're, dealing with, thousands of people on the regular, from these different companies and stuff. So it's important to just prioritize, figure out what we need to be working on that week, that month, that quarter, and just trying to hit it out of the park as best as we can. So
you just said something that I'm sure it drives into something that I'm sure a lot of our listeners, from business owners and executives trying to make a decision of investment in the chamber or how many chambers, so on and so forth. You said you go out and you talk to all of the new businesses that open in Lexington, right? In your particular area, and talk to them about the benefits. What is the thing that you would say is holding people back from understanding the actual true investment in the chamber?
It's weird. So chambers are not a new thing, that we've been around for hundreds of years. And so in one sense, it's the most kind of archaic thing that you can do as a business is join your local chamber. And yet so many people that I talk to on the daily have no idea what a chamber is or what we do.
Right.
So it's kind of two-sided. Some people know exactly what we do and they're like, oh yeah, like I know I should join the chamber. And some people are like, I've never even heard of a chamber of commerce, which, baffles me. But
that blows me away.
So, you've got both sides of it. So, we just try and sit them down and just explain what we're here to do, which, like I said, is a long list of things. But at the same time, that's why we kind of have a targeted approach with each business and find out what's important to them, what they need help with, because they come to us at different stages. I have people that come to us a year before they ever open their door or, hand out their first business card. And I have people that have been in business for 40 years, but they've maybe just seen a lull in their client list. And so they're like, okay, I need to reinvent myself. And the chamber's a great way to do that.
If I look at the chamber as a business, like if I look at it as this organization and forget about like members and stuff, and because coming from a marketing perspective or Splash Omnimedia that Mike and I run, and we just think of it on that level, Mike, I have to think that, because I ask a lot of our guests, hey, what type of marketing and advertising really works good for you? I want to understand. It seems to me that I would have to categorize the chamber as being event marketing, right? You use events as your marketing tool. Everywhere we go, networking events, right? Opportunity events, dining events, oyster roast events. It's all networking style events, but you're in the event marketing business.
We are, to an extent. That's definitely a large piece of what we do, but you also have to combat that because you don't always have time to go to one more networking event during the week. Everyone has their families. They have their own businesses. They have church on Wednesday nights. They have so much going on. Their kids' baseball practice 3 nights a week. So chambers, a lot of them are, solely event driven. we try and balance that. Now we still do a lot of events. You have to
Yeah.
one, make budget every year, because that's what a lot of people are looking for. But you have to kind of balance it and build other programs, policy programs, discount programs, and just all these other benefits in place to where you can, when somebody says, I want to join the chamber, but I don't have time for it, you can have a whole list of other reasons to join the chamber.
Than having to physically appear somewhere.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we're working on behalf of our members day in and day out, whether you're in the room or not.
Nice. I love that. Of course, if you're in the room.
It helps if you're in the room,
Right.
but at the same time,
networking can only take place if you're there physically.
Right. But we're gonna give you your shout outs. We're gonna refer you out as much as we can to other people that might be in the room. I don't know what we would do. Like we do a monthly breakfast every month, and we have great
Which is
success.
awesome. Awesome.
We pack the house every month, but that's still only a fraction of the amount of members that we have in our organization. I don't know what I would do if every single one of them showed up. We'd be eating in the parking lot, and so which would be a good problem to have.
But it's full.
Yeah,
It's full.
We have a good track record of packing out everything that we do, and like I said, I think that's just a testament to what we work on day in and day out. So
Well, I know that you guys put in the events that you do, which is we love participating in the events.
Right.
There's no doubt. I mean, I think that if you went event free. And there are chambers that are kind of like less events, like the state chamber is an example, in which we remember there, and I love the state chamber because policy and all that type of stuff is excellent. But we love participating in the local events for networking purposes and just knowing all you guys and participating. You're listening to The Brainstorm with Matt and Mike. We have our guest Adam, and we will be back in just a moment. Welcome back to The Brainstorm with Matt and Mike. Again, here with us today is Adam DeLoach with the Lexington Chamber of Commerce, the Director of Investment. Thanks for joining us today, Adam. We always love having you over in our studio to just chat with you and talk to you. You spend so much time with so many people. Your experience is a benefit by itself.
Right.
And so understanding what people are doing, what they're doing successful. I mean, people talk to people.
I run my mouth for a living.
Yeah.
Us too.
You get paid to talk. Me and Mike talk a lot. We just don't get the paid part. But other than that, I mean,
Gotta figure that out.
It's not bad. So Mike, take us in whatever direction you want to go here, bro.
Yeah. So I know that there's tons of events that the chamber hosts, and some large, some small, some really are kind of niche, and some are great for everybody.
Right.
So talk about some of those kind of ongoing events or annual events that that the chamber puts on.
Yeah. So, chambers across the country, we all do, a lot of the similar things. We do our golf tournaments that we do 2 of those a year. We do a business expo that has actually been booming and provides great exposure, throughout our region, through the people that live here and interact here. We do our chamber awards, where we're recognizing certain businesses in the community that stand out or go above and beyond, like a large business of the year, young professional. Chambers, have a lot of the same things, but you have to find out how to brand it specifically for your community,
right,
and your members, specifically what they're looking for, because the members of the chamber in Seattle might have a completely different viewpoint as to what they want out of their chamber. So
right.
we try and specifically focus our events on what our members are telling us they want out of it. Mm-hmm. So we have an event called Executive Hustle that we're launching this year that is kind of like a speed networking event that we're really excited about. So we're going to cap it to the first 50 people, and it's actually almost full at this moment. And we're looking to get down to business. A lot of times you go to these after hours and social events, and they're more social than they are actual getting business done. This is more structured. And so we'll actually host that event at our building. We'll tell you when to swap seats. It's like speed dating, but for business and stuff. And so we're really excited about that. We do several community events, whether it's dining on the dam, which is something kind of specific to our region. For those of you listening out there, we have the beautiful Lake Murray here in our community, and a large dam that kind of connects two different parts of the county, and we shut it down for a Sunday evening and have 1,400 people out there enjoying it and enjoying the views and everyone's company and stuff, and it's just a beautiful, great event.
The weather
really
last
is.
year was phenomenal.
Yeah, we lucked out. It was actually supposed to be pouring down rain, and then just the clouds and skies opened up. So
It sure
the
did.
temperature ended up just being
perfect.
phenomenal.
Right. So, yeah, we do a lot of events. Like I said, it's a balancing act, but we always just try and be specific on it. We're never going to have an event just to have it, because what's the point in that?
Right.
We want people to gain value out of it, to gain connections, relationships, business, because it's all about the bottom line. It's about putting money in people's pockets as a business owner and helping them, throughout the way. So
Yeah, helping businesses in our community just thrive.
right.
Yeah, and do a great job at that.
How do you decide, Mike, you were just talking about events and the types of events, but how do you decide, because events will run its course over time, right?
Right.
Events kind of come and go, and you create new events. And what's the metric on that? Like, how do you decide, hey, this event is just not producing at the rate we need it to? Is it revenue? Is it ticket sale? I mean, how do you know?
Yeah, and it depends on the event, but our team sits down and does like a strategic plan every year where we're planning out our entire annual calendar for one, but then not just that, we're, say we're meeting in January and we've planned out the year, and then come October, that plan might not be what it needs to be, 10 months later. So we're constantly sitting down, reevaluating whether it's an event that has tickets sold to it. We look at that and see, are tickets up from last year? Hopefully so. That's the way you want every event, to go in direction. But there's lots of different metrics. Whether does it meet, one, the needs of the people coming to the event? Does it come to, does it affect a small business? Because even though we are a community organization and a visitor center, and we have to do certain community events, at the same time, we're a chamber primarily. So does it fit our mission statement, our core values, and check that box? So
Now, the Lexington Chamber happens to be the Lexington Chamber and Visitor Center.
correct.
Right, just coincidentally, because not all visitor centers are associated with chambers and so on and
Correct.
so forth. Tell me, how does that work?
So we are the official visitor center for our municipality here in Lexington. So we are kind of charged with promoting our community, the region, gaining tourists here, getting people to move here, just promoting everything that people love about our community. So we get a lot of foot traffic through our building. We have a physical visitor center at our building on Main Street. We get people through the door. We get phone calls. We get people requesting information on our website. And so we take those people and their interests and what they're looking for, and then we direct it back to the chamber and our membership. So if you've got a housewife that just moved here and bought a home and a pipe bursts and she doesn't know who to call, a lot of times they'll call us because we're the visitor center and the
that makes
chamber,
sense.
and then we get to refer out all of our plumbing companies.
What a great benefit.
I think that
Yeah.
reinforces that credibility that being a chamber member really provides. And so when someone doesn't already have contacts in a community, they just relocated, they have to lean on some type of organization for them to find some credibility.
Right.
And because they don't know anybody yet.
Right. And it amazes me because I get the emails of people that send in requests on our website, and it's, from people from Milwaukee and California and Houston and stuff that's saying, I plan on relocating to your area next year, or my grandkids just moved there, so I want to follow them and stuff. So can you send me information on this or that? And so it's really an asset and a huge benefit to the chamber side of the organization to have that visitor center there and rolling and active, and kind of makes everything keep rolling. So
Now, one thing that I know is different, a differentiator for the Lexington Chamber is how a lot of your staff have an accreditation, and the chamber itself is as well. You want to talk a little bit about
So
about
through
that?
the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, we were recently accredited. So that's a big deal in the chamber world. There are over 7,000 chambers in the United States. which is a ton.
That
but
is.
there are less than 3% of them that are accredited.
Wow.
So what that means is we recently had to go through a year-long process of submitting our financials, how we deal with policy issues, the benefits we provide, and we had to check all these boxes and show that this is what we're doing it right, we're here for the business community, and we're growing and stuff, and then submitted it to a board of people in DC at the U.S. Chamber, and they decided whether we met those benchmarks. So we got the word just before the holidays that we were awarded accreditation, and we are very excited about that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And part of that process, there's some ongoing training that staff receives, and there's some credentials that you can actually acquire.
We do. So we actually, through the U.S. Chamber, also in other different organizations, they put on different professional development series and programs. I personally am currently in my third year of what they call the U.S. Institute, and I'm in the southeastern kind of division of that. But it's a 4-year program where chamber, and not just chamber, but even association people. So I have people in my class that are part of the Association of HVAC Workers of America, and different companies like Farm Bureau nationally will send reps to this program where you learn how to run a chamber and association, how to deal with policy things, and everything that we need to know as an employee of the chamber. Great programs. And we're fortunate that we can attend those things. And actually, we have another coworker of mine that does the program. He's in his 4th year, about to graduate. I have another coworker that's graduated several years ago. There's also regional chamber associations. So the Carolinas Association of Chamber Executives is another one that we go to, and they host different conventions and stuff that we're out throughout the year. So we're forever trying to learn so that we can bring all that information home and grow and implement it for the members.
That's awesome.
So,
And so we believe that when you grow, if you want to grow an organization, you grow the people.
Right.
And so if you want to add more value to the members, grow the team inside that's serving the members. And
correct.
And it's just by default it'll happen.
Yeah, you got to put some money behind it. You got to put your time and just dedicate to attending events like that, because we have and meet with chamber professionals from all across the country. I know in my particular class I have people from Texas and Colorado and just all over that come to Athens every year for when we do the program, and we have industry professionals that come out and teach us, and we share ideas and swap tips and stuff and make it better for everybody.
It's awesome.
Yeah, there's no doubt. If all the people are listening are thinking about the chamber as being something else, it's really just a business, and they just happen to be in the membership business, right?
That's right.
Because you talked about growth, and you talked about personal growth, continuing education. Man, all that stuff's important to everybody's business, not just the chamber, but it really gets to help the businesses that are members. Hey, thanks for listening to The Brainstorm with Matt and Mike. We will be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back to The Brainstorm with Matt and Mike. We're here with a guest, a good friend of ours, a client of ours, and we're a shareholder, right?
That's right.
We're actually talking about recently they rebranded, so we're here with Adam DeLoach, the Director of Investment for the Lexington Chamber of Commerce, one of the larger chambers here in our area and in our state. And one thing real quick, I wouldn't mind just talking about is the fact that how we know these guys. And so we moved here in Lexington. We opened up here 10, 12 years ago. And we really we said that, hey, the first thing we need to do is join the chamber, right? I mean, you said it earlier in our show. It's like some people say it and some people say it and know they need to and don't do it.
Right.
But we said, hey, we got to join chamber. And we
Right.
wanted to do all the things that you said the reasons were. We wanted to meet people. We wanted to network with people. We wanted to get business from people.
Right.
I mean,
y'all had the correct answer.
yeah,
Right.
we wanted to do it all. And so the chamber was the way to go.
It looked a lot different then.
It did. It did.
Absolutely. And so over the course of time, you guys have done business with us. We did the website. Actually, you won one of the top rated design
Awards.
websites and awards in the
Yep.
nation, which was awesome, from Communicator Awards. We have branded you multiple times.
Yep.
The old brand is on your shirt, I see.
It is. We haven't gotten our new apparel
The
in
new
yet.
apparel
so,
yet.
Yeah.
You purchased promo and apparel from our company before as well.
We have.
But of course, you guys have a lot of members and done business with us. But there's other businesses that kind of do what we do, and you've done business with them too. And so you guys just do a really, really good job. But so I want to talk about that. But then obviously, we love doing business with you guys too, because we truly believe in not only just what you do and what you offer, but the people. Like you and Odie, obviously, which is he the executive director? Is he the president?
CEO, president.
CEO,
of the chamber. I didn't know what the chamber.
Some chambers call it executive director.
Right, executive director. So the president of the chamber, and then Sandra. I think she's a VP, right?
She is.
Of the chamber. She's been there for a long time.
Going on 12 years.
She's a sweetheart. She just works very, very hard there. Connor, who I think handles a lot of the marketing for the chamber.
He does.
Events and things of that nature. You have Melanie that's obviously very involved because she
makes sure people's checks clear.
That's right. She's depositing the checks, so that's a big part of it.
She definitely handles the money there. Did I miss anybody?
And Sonia,
who handles our visitor center, and then Jill is another membership rep that we have.
Okay, great. And so these guys just work hard, and so I wanted to personally give you guys kudos for.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
We appreciate having you guys as partners over the last several years, and so we equally are as thrilled to work with you guys each time that we do. So.
Excellent. So Mike was involved recently with the rebrand of the chamber, and Adam and Mike and Connor and a lot of these guys work directly with that. So Mike, take us down the road of a most recent rebrand of the chamber.
Yeah, so several months before the rebrand actually took place, Connor reached out and said, "Hey, we're looking to explore a rebrand. We think that we're entering a new year,
right,
and a new season, and we've grown substantially over the past few years, and we need to make sure that our brand, from top to bottom, really reflects who we are as an organization, what we represent." And not only who we are today, but who we are living into, what the organization is becoming, which is really exciting. So a lot of organizations miss the point that's important to do.
Yeah, you got to stay relevant. You got to make sure that your brand represents what you want it to, and our mission statements, and what we're opening our doors to do every day.
Mm-hmm. So one of the cool things is we think the result was an outstanding new logo.
Yes, we love it.
We came up with quite a few options and narrowed it down, and y'all have begun the process of expanding that new brand across everything,
right?
Which is a process within itself.
It is,
and it's there's always something else that you didn't think about before.
Right.
But I've seen new signage.
Yep.
I've seen a new podium,
business cards, website, rehab, everything that you can think of. You've got to have on that checklist and get it done. So it's been a lot, but it's also been an exciting time to release the new brand, and everyone's really been really receptive to it and loves it, and we've gotten really great feedback on it. So
yes, it's really exciting. It looks great. I'm not saying that because our team.
It's okay. You can say it. Y'all did it. So
our team did a great job. Matt nor I had anything to do with the actual design of it. It would really suck if we did it.
It's not designers.
But we have some really talented folks on staff that work great with Connor and your team to coordinate that. So, but beyond the visuals, there's a lot of changes that took place. So one of those that I'm aware of is the shift from member to shareholder.
Right.
So can you talk about what that means and what the intent behind that was?
Yeah. So what kind of spurred the rebrand? We'd been talking about it the last couple of years. In 2019, we actually celebrated our 60th anniversary as an organization.
Wow.
So we thought it was kind of time and opportune time to do the rebrand and to lay everything out. So we kind of just sat down as a staff and said, this is something we want to do. And that can, like we were just talking about, encompasses a lot of different things.
Yep.
One of those was, for 60 years, all the businesses that were with us were members. And we kind of wanted to do a change. And so we came up with the term shareholder, which I think has a really good sense about it, because we like we've talked about today, you invest in the chamber, you're investing in your future as a company. And so as a shareholder, we want you to feel that you have a piece of the pie, that you are invested and that you have a large voice, whether you are a small business or a large business, you have a voice and a piece of what we're doing every day. So I think shareholder just is the best term going forward. So we've moved to that. And it takes a lot of practice to catch on whenever you're talking in a conversation with somebody. You say member for so many years, but yeah, it's one of the small changes that we've done that has a big impact, I think.
So talk about those different levels of shareholder then.
So we have, tiers of membership for all types of businesses. So you get to pick as a business owner what tier of membership you come in at. Based on what benefits you want to get out of it, how much money you have or are able to invest at that time. We never want you to over-invest because we want you to be with us for years. So we want you to come in at a comfortable level that makes sense to you at that time and what you're looking to gain from us as a chamber. So you have your small business tiers, and then you have your elite shareholder tiers. And a lot of times those are the larger companies in the region. But we also have a lot of small businesses or mid-sized businesses that have chosen to invest more with us over the years that come in at those elite shareholder levels, like Splash, Omnimedia, you guys. And we always appreciate that. They gain a lot more benefits the kind of higher you go up in the tiers. One of those are industry tours, which is something new that we introduced this past year, where we take those elite shareholders in smaller groups to manufacturers or different industries within our region that make a big impact, like a Michelin or somebody, or a boat manufacturer like Tidewater Boats that's located here in our community, where you get to go behind the scenes and find out the cool, intimate parts of how those larger operations run. But it also creates an opportunity to let those elite shareholders have a one-on-one interaction with those other elite shareholders. So, you guys get to come in on those tours and personally meet the owner of Tidewater Boats, because they're the ones showing us around the plant, and then you guys can talk business. So it kind of creates that intimate one-on-one relationship and opportunity for more business to be done at those higher levels.
Which, by the way, thanks to the chamber, is now a client of ours.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's right. Lock it down.
So that shows how it works. And it's, people do business with those they know, like, and trust, but you have to spend time. You have to be visible and present with them for that to happen. And so that's awesome.
Yeah, that is true. That's true, because I said it right when we first started the show, but I think it's time to say it again. You will only get out of the chamber what you put into the chamber, right?
And
I know that's like everything, but especially the chamber.
Hey, I want to jump in on one more thing, and that's a great point. So that seems that's the case with most organizations. Those who put the most in always ultimately reap the greatest reward. So there's some other ways to participate in the chamber as a member, like or shareholder,
right,
like an ambassador.
Correct.
So you want to talk about some of those things and what they do?
Sure. So it definitely does help, with your ROI and your investment if you are present more and stuff. Us and our chamber staff, we're going to promote your company no matter what, whether you're, in the room with us at an event or at your kids' baseball practice. But you do get a quicker return or a larger return the more time that you dedicate to your investment. We do have several, committees and different programs that shareholders can kind of come into and get involved in, stuff like ambassadors, like a board seat, our policy committee. We have a small business council, and we don't overdo it with our programs. Lots of organizations, they create committees just so that they tell people, they have somewhere to put people. We make it structured and focused, but we have lots of opportunities for people to get involved and kind of maximize their time.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. Well, hey, listen, we're going to put this show in a podcast. And so you get to hear yourself over and over and over if you want to, Adam. So,
I don't know if I want that, but we'll test it.
It's at thebrainstormradio.com. You can go there and listen to us Monday mornings live, or you can download and go to our podcast. You can see our video resources, thebrainstormradio.com. Thanks for listening to The Brainstorm with Matt and Mike, and this time, Adam.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Have a great day.